We are learning more about the American Airlines pilot who died in the cockpit mid-flight. The plane was on its way to Boston from Phoenix when the co-pilot had to divert the flight to Syracuse International Airport. CBS News transportation correspondent Kris Van Cleave joins me now on the phone. Kris, what can you tell us about what happened?
Well, Vlad, this was an overnight flight from Phoenix to Boston. At some point during the flight, the pilot, the captain, became incapacitated. That's when you hear the first officer decide that he has got to divert this airplane and get on the ground. And in fact, what's not clear to us is if the first officer knew the severity of the pilot's condition. We know that the captain did, in fact, pass away from whatever was wrong. We hear him asking, particularly as the plane's getting closer to landing, how quickly the paramedics can get on board the airplane.
Yeah, Kris, in fact, let's play some of that chatter between the co-pilot and the ATC. We have that sound.
Syracuse, American 550s out of 15,000 for 5,000. A medical emergency. Captain is incapacitated. Request handling for runway 10 landing.
Now, Kris, while this is presumably fairly rare, clearly the airline, the pilots all have training should something like this happen to the captain.
Yes, and the modern airliners, since it was an Airbus A320, they're fairly automated aircraft. So one pilot can operate this airplane if the other one is incapacitated. Certainly, that's not ideal. Now, I talked to some of the aviation experts that I speak to regularly, and the sense was that about once a year or so, you'll get an incident, a medical emergency in the cockpit that forces a diversion. Death in the cockpit is fairly rare. This is an unusual circumstance, but the concept of one pilot becoming incapacitated because of illness or food poisoning or heart attack, that type of thing, does happen on occasion. Certainly the other pilot in that cockpit is more than qualified to operate the airplane and to land the airplane, as was the case here.
Yeah, and we're just showing a statement from American Airlines. We are incredibly saddened by this event, and we are focused on caring for our pilot's family and colleagues. Kris Van Cleave reporting. Kris will have more tonight on the CBS Evening News. We appreciate it, Kris.
Sure thing.